I learned earlier today my friend Peter Maher has passed away. And well, I haven't seen him for a couple of years. He was one of my favorite people that I used to work with when I was in the hockey community. Peter actually took this picture of me and Jerome McGinley for my book Positive Sports. I used it on the back cover. I also interviewed Peter for my book Inside the NHL Dream. I just realized right now that's probably not the best t-shirt to be wearing for this, to honor my friend. I'm just going to read a bit from my book Inside the NHL Dream in my interview with Peter. And he was the voice, the radio voice of the Calgary Flames. And I'm just going to read it. I came to the NHL in 1977 at a time when Foster Hewitt's radio station in Toronto lost the Maple Leaf broadcast rights they had enjoyed for a long time. A new radio station acquired the rights and was looking for a play-by-play broadcaster. I applied and was among 3 people who went for an audition during an exhibition game. It was something I always wanted to do. When I was very young, I'd be broadcasting table hockey and street hockey games. I thought I could be a player, but then I realized I wasn't good enough. Building up credibility with the players was a very difficult job. It was probably more difficult in my case. Foster Hewitt is a hockey broadcasting legend. Although at that point Foster Hewitt had been reduced to broadcasting just 1 game a year, he still had his people and instant credibility. Then there comes this guy nobody ever heard of to broadcast the game and interview players he doesn't know from Adam. It was difficult in the beginning. 2 players, when they were both members of the Leafs, were very helpful to me, Tiger Williams and Lanny McDonald. My first interview I did with Lanny, he made me feel right at home. He was very comfortable and easy with it, so it made me relax. They helped me get through to some of the other players who were a little bit more leery of who I was and what I was doing there. But it did take quite a while. There was an aloofness and a hesitation in the beginning. In time, I was able to get the trust of the players. I can attest that it is very difficult at the beginning to, when you were first starting out, to get your feet in there, because there's a lot of media that have been there for ages and you are this new face. And I find a lot of the other media actually will kind of wait until they see whether you're going to stick around or not. But at least that was my experience. But and after you become really good friends. But here, I won't go through the entire interview, but here is an important part, because Peter Maher was one of the hardest working person I've ever met in hockey. I mean, the broadcast crews, period, are hardworking in the way that, well, you might only see them for the 3 hours of the game, but they are there at the same time as most of the equipment managers in the morning, especially on big days like the draft or playoffs. They're there just, right when the doors, right when the first security guard starts, and they're there till the wee hours of the morning. And so Peter, I asked him what his typical day was, and he says, a typical day for me may not be typical for other broadcasters. Normally it starts the minute I wake up. I usually wake up earlier on game day than I would on any other day. Some days I get up at 5:30 a.m. I'll get on the internet and look for things about the team, the Flames, or the team the Flames are going to play against. If I'm on the road, I'll look at the papers back in Calgary to see what's going on back there. The last few years, now I published this in 2001, so the last few years I've been doing the Insider Show where I look at all the other stuff happening around the NHL. That in itself is time consuming. You have to go to all the sites. You might go to a site where there's nothing happening today, but you have to go there anyway because you don't know for sure. Then if you see something interesting, you have to follow it up with phone calls and try and get some confirmation. That takes time. I do that, then go down to the morning practice where I do my interviews with various people, players, coaches, anyone connected with the team, just to get some insights. I can use it in the broadcast. And when I'm down there, I put together the Insider Show and finalize that. From there, I go back to my preparation for the game. I have a file on every player. Then I do some memory work, not just on the player's numbers. I'll memorize some of the items I have about them. So when a player is going down the ice, I can throw in a little comment about him. That way, I don't have to look at a sheet and figure out what I want to say. Once that's done, I do my script and my opening. It's all printed out. Then I'll have something to eat and work out. If it's nice weather, I'll go outside and ride a bike for 45 minutes. Otherwise, I'll use a stationary bike and weights. When I'm riding the exercise bike, I sometimes read about hockey. Since I've been up since 5 and the game taking 3 or 4 hours, I usually lay down for a bit. I don't sleep very well, but I can usually close my eyes for 20 minutes or half an hour. Then I get cleaned up and dressed to go to work. And that's a typical day, he says. When the team the Flames are playing against comes onto the ice, I focus on them, doing a little bit of a mental play-by-play, reinforcing the number memory that I've done. I'm also looking for other ways to pick out a player, like the way he skates and how he wears his helmet. Just the little things that I can recognize in case you don't see the number. It was far better when they didn't have helmets. The routine is slightly different on the road. I'm still up early. I still go to the practices, and in the afternoon, the routine is pretty much the same. It's a little more rushed because you have to be on the team bus. The team bus leaves 2.5 hours before the game. Then you're coming back with the team from practice, so there's not much time. Some of the preparation is done the night before. After a game is over, at the home games, I'll go down to interview a Flame player, then wrap up our post-game show, which takes over an hour after a game. On the road, I'll still go down and do the interview on a cell phone. We used to have to go down and record and then go back upstairs and hope there was an elevator to take you up. Then they'd play it on the air, and now that it's done on cell phone, so when you can do the interview, that's it. After the interview, the night's pretty much over. These days, we're on charter flights, so we're going right back to the airport and flying out. Work isn't finished until that point because I've got shows to do for the next morning. Scripts have to be written, and then I have to send them over on a special telephone line. It's usually midnight by the time I'm done. So as a typical media life, he is, exhausted just thinking about what he does, but it is the media life. So it's like research, and anyway, I'm going to miss Peter a lot. We used to go for beers periodically when he could get away from the rink and squeeze in there. When you look at his typical day, so the rest of the interview is in my book. It's online on Amazon, and but I miss you, Peter. Save me a spot between you and Gus when it's my turn.